Hello. Uh,
Hi, Niels. Thanks
Hi,
for
how are you
joining.
doing?
Good. We'll be getting started here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a couple minutes after 3. I still see folks joining, so that's a good thing. But let's go ahead and get started in the interest of time. I want to welcome you. My name is Beth Butler-Fatal. I'm Executive Director of Disability in North Carolina. We are excited to bring to you today our second CommunAbility group mentoring session. CommunAbility mentoring is a program that was launched in 2019 at UNC Charlotte. And we have now expanded that through the generous funding from Wells Fargo to the HBCUs across our state. And so important thing for you to understand, and I know you're on this call today, so you do. There is a tremendous opportunity and a need to connect college students with disabilities on college campuses across our state to business mentors in an effort to help bridge that chasm that we often see at the point of graduation for these college students. And so again, I'm excited to bring this program to you. We are excited. We've got some incredibly talented students and excited to connect with you today. As we get started, I do want to remind you, if you would put yourself on mute, that would help everybody enjoy the session a bit more. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. And second, I really want to encourage you to use this opportunity to engage with students, engage in conversation with one another through the chat box. So I have asked the students to also be watching that chat box during the session today so they can respond to any questions you might have. I know today's participants include students from college campuses across the state that may have questions about this program. They may just be coming today to listen and learn and hear more about companies, hear more about the program. And so please engage with those students as you see them interacting in the chat box. And also, if you are a member of the career services or disability support services at any of these colleges or HBCUs that we're partnering with, again, if you have questions or comments or want to know something, use that chat box as a way to connect as well. This will be made available. We are recording today's session and it will be made available following today's session. So we will offer that to you in a link on our website, and we will be sending that out as well. And with that, at this point, I want to go ahead and invite our career advocates to join us today. So if you are a career advocate at one of the HBCUs that you're representing or the college that you're representing today, if you would go ahead and join me on screen now, that would be fantastic. Understanding that these students are in class and also have very busy schedules. So I want to make sure that let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can see faces. There you go. And fantastic. So at this time, I want to go ahead and ask you all to just introduce yourselves. There we go. Hey. And go ahead and ask Leanne, you want to kick us off and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all here. My name is Leanne Tarigney. I'm the career advocate here at UNC Charlotte. I'm a graduate assistant in the Career Center. So a lot of my work is focused on our disability outreach programs here. The program I'm getting my master's in psychology with an emphasis on community psych, hoping to work in nonprofits eventually. I'm really excited to be part of the program and create some connections and network with you all, and look forward to hearing about you and your hopes. So I would love to see you guys interact on the chat and stuff, but that's a little bit about me.
Great. Thanks, Leanne. And also with us is Michael Alford, and Michael is a freshman at NC He also just turned 19. I happened to be on campus last Friday, not to embarrass you, and no, I'm not going to sing to you, but so Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I am the career advocate for disability in North Carolina, and I also attend North Carolina NC State University as a media design student. And I'm excited to come up with creative ways to attract students with disabilities to get paired with business mentors. And I'm excited to network with you guys as well.
Great. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the work you guys are doing. So I don't see the other two career advocates. So let's go ahead and jump off screen, and we may catch them on the back end. Listen, I have a son that's a freshman, and so I get that schedules, things happen. So thank you all for joining us. At this time, I want to invite Lindsay Kroger. Lindsay, are you with us yet? With Ingersoll Rand. Let's see. And Lindsay may not be with us yet.
I don't see her on here.
On here, okay. All right, perfect. So we'll again, we're flexible. That's what we do. So with that, I am going to ask our incredible guest speaker, Betty Marrow-Taylor, to join us on screen. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Betty, if you want to go ahead and pull up your.
I'm not sure why I keep going out. Okay, I'm there and
Yes.
ready to go. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's see here.
Perfect. And while Betty's pulling up her slides, I just want you to know you're in for a treat. Betty has been a tremendous partner of Disability in North Carolina. She is a huge champion of the work that we do. She has been a stellar partner of ours. I mean, Betty, I think you and I met shortly. Well, we've been at several conferences together, I know. But what I love about Betty is her passion. And for those that are from the education space, you know, Betty started with a passion around special education. And I think that's probably why we've connected so much and so well together. She's also an NCCU alumni, so there's a connection there. But Betty, again, thank you for your partnership, and we welcome you to CommunAbility.
Thank you so much. And it's indeed an honor and a pleasure just to be here today and to share information about commerce, and really just passionate about, as Beth said, about this work and how we can continue to serve and make a difference. So I'm here today tasked with sharing a little bit about what I do now. I'm the Chief DEI Officer for NC Commerce. I am now officially almost 2 years on the job. It time flies, it doesn't seem that long. And a lot has been happening. I am the first DEI officer for NC Commerce. It was the vision of our Secretary, Michelle Sanders, Baker Sanders, who really saw the need to ensure that we were intentional about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So thus was the development of the vision at Commerce that I oversee with not a very large team, but I have a DEI analyst and a compliance officer and an EO officer. So a lot of work to do with a little amount of people, but it's all about partnerships and collaboration. It's how we get the work. Of course, we have a strong partnership with this great governor here. And I thought it would be befitting to have one of his famous quotes that align with the work that we are doing. And it says exactly what we believe at Commerce, that all people should have the opportunity to achieve and reach their potential, regardless of who you are. And the governor has a mission statement, and if you've been around North Carolina for the last couple of, well, I say now about 7 years, 6 or 7 years, you've heard the governor talk about this, use this statement. Other people repeat it, and I thought it was worth repeating today because I love it. It really speaks to what we want to see for everyone in North Carolina, and that is to be better educated, to have more money in their pockets. Everyone loves that part. We definitely need that health in order to get that wealth, and to really live a life that's abundant and purposeful. So at Commerce, our primary job is to serve as an advocate for North Carolina. All of its attributes and its people, we're working together to promote innovation across sectors. Simply put, we are here to ensure good paying jobs, not just for today, but well into the future, and that would benefit generations to come. And whether that's in information technology and clean energy, advanced manufacturing, et cetera, we are here to help ensure we have the jobs and the talent to fill those jobs. Now, I put our website there just so that you'll be able to go check us out and learn more information, because I don't have a lot of time to share about what we're doing. And I love to talk about, especially the DEI piece of this work. So go to our website. We recently, in the last year, added a DEI section, and it's on the main page, proud to say. So there's more information, and we'll continue to build that site as a resource for businesses and just our community. We have a mission statement, and it aligns very well with the mission of the governor. And that's simply put, to improve the economic well-being and the quality of life. And I want to stress, for all North Carolinians, not some, all. And that's a huge challenge, but we're up for the task. So when Secretary Sanders came on board to Commerce now 2 years ago, we revised some of the priorities for Commerce to reflect, especially equity. So I highlighted in yellow just so you get a sense of, really all of it's important, but really what our responsibilities and what our priorities are in terms of jobs. We are to create jobs. Now, if you've been around in North Carolina lately, and we've been even nationally recognized, you've heard about jobs, and more jobs. But we want to make sure we have the talent for those jobs, building a world-class workforce. And that we want to make sure we include, inclusive best practices for equity. We're looking at everything through the lens of equity and ensure that not some residents of North Carolina, but all residents of North Carolina are being considered. Our secretary has a passion for rural North Carolina. Well, we know that the majority, 80% or more of North Carolina is rural, but certainly there is often disparities within our rural communities. So we want to make sure that they're included and able to enjoy the benefits of the great jobs that are coming and that we have. And we have some commitments. And if you notice the first commitment, this one I ensure while I'm there at Commerce that we're making sure that we're advocating ongoing for and hiring people with disabilities. We know what the rates are for people with disabilities in terms of unemployment and abilities to secure jobs when you get out of college. But it's important to have people there advocating and passionate about it. So we also have a commitment to not just economic justice, but also social and environment justice for all the people of this state. You probably heard a lot about our support around clean energy. And that is definitely a major priority now, and a lot of jobs coming our way as a result of that. And we're not just about supporting large businesses, but we're about supporting businesses that are all sizes, whether they're also rural or urban. We're here to support small minority-owned businesses. Nice. And last, this is very important. We have a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. If we don't have that, we will not have a successful and sustainable economy. Why is that so important? Well, number one, it matters. You matter. It's the right thing to do. And there's great benefits when you have diversity, equity, and inclusion, whether it's in your business, organization, your school, it's important. And on the job, the data shows, statistics show that when you have DEI, you get increased recruitment and employee retention, and people are happier. Happy people make happy, productive people. It's important for our economic success. DEI is the key driving force, moving our economic engine forward. Great return on investment with DEI. That's just not a cliche, that's facts. When you have more diversity, equity, and inclusion in your business and organization, you get greater returns in so many ways, as I just mentioned. And certainly, it has been a priority of our governor, and it also aligns with our priorities of our secretary and our organization's vision, mission, and again, priorities. So if you're in commerce, what does DEI look like to us? What does it mean? It's people first. Simply put, people matter. As I just said, you matter. Our communities matter, but we have to consider the people that work on the jobs, including at Commerce, and the communities across the state. Again, I said urban, rural, big, large communities, they all are important and should be considered first. And we try to operate that way at Commerce. What else does DEI mean for Commerce? Stakeholder engagement. Now, who are some of our stakeholders? Well, first and foremost, we already said people. There's some of our employees and included. So that's more our internal efforts and engagement of our employees. Some of the things that we've most recently done over the past year that I'm proud to say is we've listened and we've learned, and then we took action on those things we learned that were concerns or issues, what we were doing well, what we were not doing so well in terms of engaging our employees. And the only way you can learn that is through engaging them in conversation. Last year, we launched our heart-to-heart kind of listening sessions about DEI that really had employees an opportunity, gave them an opportunity to just come share confidentially what their concerns were. We held for months. It took us almost 6-7 months to complete them for every division of commerce. The DEI office held these listening sessions and just allowed people to talk about topics they chose to. We're actually now preparing the report to the secretary to talk about trends that we saw within commerce that we can do better with in terms of engaging employees and where we are doing well and want to continue. Some of the other things we've done in terms of internal engagement with our employees is we established Commerce's first time having an employee engagement council, which is representative of employees across all the divisions of commerce and about 15 to 20 employees that help work with our DEI office as well in planning engaging activities throughout the year. We try to almost monthly have something because there's a recognition or a celebration monthly generally that we invite our employees to participate in planning activities, whether it's a lunch and learn or external activity of volunteering at the food bank, etc. It has been very successful in getting our employees engaged. And also our secretary hosts quarterly town hall meetings, which always she's leading the meetings, but also involving others across the organization to usually talk about relevant topics that are of concern for our organization, and invite not just leaders to be a part of those town hall discussions, but everyone and at different levels of the organization are invited often to present at those town hall meetings. So we really are trying to be very inclusive and model that, and also provide trainings outside of just the training that we get from our Office of State Human Resources, usually more of the virtual trainings, but we also have different divisions that are doing more specific things, such as our Division of Workforce Solutions. They have their own DEI committee that actually focuses on topics and issues relevant to the work that they're doing with our career centers. So that's what we want to see happen. We want it to be one day where we don't have to say it's a DEI initiative, and it's just the way that we exist. So to move down to how externally we're collaborating, we're partnering and collaborating with and engaging stakeholders out in the various communities. We are working with businesses, training them, sharing best practices, with our ultimate goal being advancing equity through our stakeholder engagements across the state. And collaboration is essential. You can't do it without strong collaboration amongst partners, building those strong relationships. And we have quite a few. We've had some very intentional focuses over the past year in areas that we felt were necessary to really to be very laser focused and intentional about. And one is our historically underutilized businesses. And they're known as Hub. And we have been very intentional in ensuring that we are encouraging businesses to become Hub certified, because that positions them to get more funding opportunities, grants, and it's also positions them to be able to do work with the state. And we've been very intentional internally in ensuring that we are utilizing Hub vendors in our procurement services. And I can tell you, when you're intentional and about your efforts, it can very positively change outcomes. What we've seen happen in the last year with Hub and our procurement team, we've gone from 6 months ago in fiscal year 21-22, we were at 7.9% in our procurement. The goal for the state under the executive order is to have 10% of your business go to a Hub vendor. However, we have jumped from the 7.9 to 12.9 now. We might as well say 13%. We've exceeded the goal. Now, 10% is not a grandiose goal. We would love to even see that higher, but at least to know that we've met, at least now we've exceeded the 10% to nearly 13% in the first 6 months of this fiscal year. I applaud our team and our efforts, really focusing on making sure that we are doing everything we can do, that we are asking other businesses and organizations across the state to do. And we've also increased the number of Hub certified businesses. Let me give you a few numbers. We went up from having, we engaged up to now 33% more than we did from the previous year. So we, our last year did at least 40 more Hub vendors that we were responsible for getting them Hub certified. And the majority, we've really shown significant improvements in how many of our, again, vendors that we work with at Commerce, that we do business with, are Hub certified. So again, and being intentional about DEI can truly make a difference. We've also had partnerships and collaboration with many other colleges and universities through apprenticeship programs, internships, and what we're doing right now, the mentorship program. I'm looking forward to being a mentor for some wonderful student and sharing and maybe getting and convincing them to eventually come to Commerce to work. But having partnerships like we're having with Disabilities NC and working with programs like the Link It program, which is a paid internship program that now we just hired a new intern with our data team. And that person is going to be serving as a information technology help desk assistant. So we're looking to get even more internships through that program. And then ultimately the goal is after they've completed the internship that we hire them. So excited to be able to partner with the Link It program and also with the partnership with North Carolina Economic Development Partnership, EDPNC. They're sort of our sales and marketing team that we work very closely with bringing these businesses to North Carolina. That is primarily their focus, but we work very closely together. And we also work with the North Carolina Economic Development Association. I'm very excited to say we had our second meeting of their DEI committee, a historical movement for them to focus on diversity. And I was in a meeting yesterday, our second meeting yesterday, and I made sure that we included in our goals and purpose and strategies that we're addressing disabilities, and that we're looking to also within their association get more people with disabilities involved and made aware even that they exist. And then when you look at DEI at Commerce, you also will see cultural transformation. That's one of our priorities that I mentioned earlier, but it's simply just transforming the culture. You know, we own our culture. We get to determine as employees when we band together what we want that culture to look like. And it's really wonderful when you have leaders that believe in DEI and believe in a very inclusive culture, and that where we can celebrate each other and learn about our differences and recognize a place where everyone is able to thrive and be given the access to what they need to succeed. And so again, we go across the state. I tell people to do this, but it starts at home. So it's so important to me that we are modeling, again, what we are doing our best. We're not there 100%, but that's why I said cultural transformation. We're transforming. And of course, we're looking at everything we do as a priority through the lens of equity. We want to be sure that, you know, equity is a key factor in decision making as it relates to all of our priorities, whether it's with job creation, whether it's working in the community, or whether it's workforce development. It's very important. And last, policy transformation. You know, you got to change some policies. And we've done some internally, looking at more diverse policies. Still have a ways to go, but even in terms of you know, work from home, flexible work schedules, we have to change some policies internally and work with our legislators to change more broader policies in order to accommodate the gap that we are having in job and vacancies. So that continues to be work that we will continue to do and hopefully continue to see changes. Why did it not move? Froze. So we have a guide, we have a roadmap. It's our first in talent strategic economic development plan for the state of North Carolina. This is what it looks like, the cover of it. You go to our website, but this plan has strategies in it that's specifically aimed at increasing economic and workforce resiliency, eliminating those barriers and challenges that many of you may face when it comes to employment. It's a roadmap to that. Best practices, helping businesses understand that there's a talent pool there. And I often show the stats when I'm doing presentations across the state about the unemployment rate for people with disabilities and how if we, you know, we could really even help our gross domestic product numbers go up. If we hired more people with disability, if we hired more people that are often overlooked in general in our talent pool, such as you, as I mentioned, the neurodiverse, the people with disabilities, we could help fill some of the, again, the gaps we're experiencing right now in job vacancies, as if we just would give them a chance. And I think that is why this program is so important, and that people also feel open to identify so that they can get the support and services that they need, knowing that there are challenges still in being able to do that. But hopefully this plan serves as a guide in ways to do that. And then there are also like 3 key goals that are critical within these strategies. That first is to prepare North Carolina's workforce for career and entrepreneurial success, because we know that everybody doesn't want to work for someone else. They want to do their own thing, and we're seeing increasing numbers in that space. So we're embedding that into this economic plan. We want to make sure that, again, we're growing a talented workforce, and how are we preparing people, again, through mentorship, internships, etc. And we want our communities across the state to be more competitive in being able to grow and attract a talented workforce. North Carolina is not struggling as much in that area as some other states, but we still have work to do. People want to come here and people want to work, but we still struggle. So this is kind of hard for me to do this virtually. So I thought, okay, I can't see everybody, and I'm very much a people person engaging, but I want to just pause a moment and give you an opportunity, and maybe you can put it in the chat, just test a little bit of your commerce knowledge. So I'm gonna need you to help me out and put what you think in the chat as I share this first slide. What do you think this number represents? 28,690. Think about commerce. What do you think this number could possibly represent? And let me see if anyone's putting anything. Is it
I heard
the number of
somebody-
people working?
somebody
here?
offered, yeah, number of businesses in North Carolina. Somebody said employees, state employees.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? State employees, businesses, okay. Remember this number, 28,690. That's a big number. Remember this number. What do you think this represents? $19.3 billion. Do you think that's money we made in the state? What do you think that number represents?
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say it's the state spend maybe for diverse or hub businesses.
Okay. All right. Well, the results are in. 28,690 new jobs so far created for North Carolina in 2022. New jobs, not existing, but new. That 19.3 billion of capital investment promises to our state. That's a lot of money. Other indicators continue to show that we're going to continue, having economic growth. Now we know that things aren't as booming as they were. We set all kinds of records last year, and we're just into February in 2023. So we could still set some records this year. But in case you didn't know, I would imagine if you're watching the news, you've seen that North Carolina routinely ranks as the #1 state for business. We've received all kinds of recognition over the last couple of years. Now, even though during the pandemic, we suffered some with tourism, now we're coming back strong. People are staying home and staying closer in their areas versus going to other states, which we like. And people are coming to North Carolina to tour. North Carolina's tourism economy is strong, with almost 100 counties seeing increase in visitor spending. Did you know that Governor Cooper signed an executive order, employment first for North Carolinians with disabilities? I think not just signing the order, but expecting us to be intentional about executing that order. At Commerce, we have the NC Careers website where you can get guidance on disclosing disabilities to your employer. And also we have a program, the Volunteer Self-Identification of Disabilities. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's aligned with what Governor Cooper has encouraged. We're aligned with how Governor Cooper has encouraged state agencies to update their status. It's important to put that in there because it helps us in understanding how many people we truly have that are working with disabilities, and opens the door for opportunities for others. And this just was launched in 2020. So I'm excited to see that that is even happening, and understanding that many people don't disclose and have not because of fear of what that could mean for their job or even in getting a job. But hopefully we're on the way of changing that. Let's test your knowledge again. Employment rates. That's part of what we do at Commerce, is pull those statistics and ensure that we're reporting them. So the national rate, which one do you think it is? Is it 3.9, 3.4, or 3.7 currently? And North Carolina's rate, what do you think it is? Is it 3.7, 3.9, or 3.4? Do you think we have a better rate in North Carolina in terms of unemployment versus national? Any thoughts on that? What about this? Uh-oh, I think I might have missed it. So we have 517,000 jobs added in the US in January. That's just January, dropping the national 53-year unemployment rate to a current low of 3.4. So we have a very low unemployment rate nationally. North Carolina is not far behind. We're at 3.9%. And that's pretty much where we were prior to the pandemic. And you're hearing about jobs coming, and that will hopefully impact and change those rates to even get us even closer to the national rate. So what do you think this number represents? 1,321. Think about that for a minute. We had 1,321 new job announcements thus far this year. I literally had to go in today and change that from what it was 800 and some jobs. And we had a couple of job announcements and one today. And if you go to our website, you'll see it constantly changes and updates right on the front page of the website. So clearly, we have lots more jobs coming across the state. And I actually had to change that second number because more jobs mean more investments announced. So that current, that's today. This is January, February. We're now just 2 months into the year. This is where we stand. And Commerce also is responsible for rural economic development. And we provide grants through our office to communities, rural communities across the state. And thus far, we have $104.6 million in rural development economic grants. So you're probably thinking, I've heard all of this stuff about Commerce and all of what we're doing at Commerce. What's in it for me? Because obviously we always want to know what's the ROI for ourselves as well. What are you going to gain from all of this that I shared, these numbers that we just went over? It means you're going to have opportunities for good jobs, long-term career opportunities, bright futures ahead. Not dim, but bright. It means, though, that the time is now. I don't think most of us have seen a time when we were in this position. None of us had ever seen or even thought we would experience a pandemic, but we did. There were some good things that came out of that. So one I can say is more focus and attention on the disparities that exist. So the time is now for you. This is what is in it for you, but it is to be. This is one of my quotes I love. It's up to me. We are here to support, mentor, and advise, but you have to take the step. And you have invested, many of you, in ensuring that it is going to be a great future for you, a great career for you. So I'm going to give you a call to action. Continue to advocate, not just for yourself, but also for others, if you're capable of doing that and able to do that when there's an opportunity that presents itself. Advocate for all people with disabilities. And, remember that it is to be, it's up to me. Innovate, create, motivate, inspire, what I'm trying to do today. Inspire you to even share your story. I want to share a quick story that I was more on the employer side. This is one of my favorite, I would say, DEI stories, because as Beth said, I did 14 years almost like 3 years after I got out of college. I was a school teacher first and then went to work for mental health in special education. I was the director of a center for kids with developmental disabilities. And so I had a passion, always have been. And then, I mean, I'm old, so it's been quite a few years ago that existed. But when I left work, working at mental health, after 14 years there, went into working for organization called American Social Health Association. And at that organization, they house many of the Center for Disease Control contracts, but also some of the state contracts, such as back then, the North Carolina Partnership for Children and the North Carolina Family Health Resource Line was one of the areas that I was responsible for and served as a director over that division. And I remember we were planning for an interview, and one of my supervisors came to me and said, well, Betty, I'll go down and get the candidate and come back up and we'll do the interview. And I said, okay, sure. So she comes back up a few minutes later and she goes, I said, where's the candidate? And she said, well, I set him in that room over there, wait for us. And she said, but Betty, we can't hire him. And I said, oh, well, what do you mean we can't hire him? Why can't we hire him? And she says, well, he's blind. And I said, and she said, well, we don't have any people that work here that are blind. And this job was going to be for a health communication specialist, providing information to people calling in regarding maternal and child health, preschool education, in a fatherhood program we had. So I said, so you're saying he can't do this job because we don't have anyone else here? And I said, we're going to ask him how he would do this job. I said, we're not going to not interview him because you think he can't do this job. This is a college degree person, educated, bachelor's degree, and unfortunately had been working in the legislative building selling snacks on a cart, but very bright, but had not been given that opportunity. Now that was back many, many years ago, around early 2000s, that exists. And now we're in 2023, but we're still talking about inclusion and hiring people with disability. So fast forward, we interview him. Phenomenal employee. We ended up hiring him, but I had to go to bat and advocate for him, even with our human resources team, because he told us how he could do the job with assistive technology. And not only did he help transform our culture there, once we worked with vocational rehab services, found out, I never knew that they come in and it was a free service. So I had to do my homework to prepare, because I had been working with little kids and now I'm working with adults with disabilities. And I didn't know all of the services. So I did my little homework, and it turned out that, yes, they could come in, they could help provide the assistive technology. Ended up hiring another person as a result of him having been given the opportunity and to show that it can work. And he was one of my best employees. And he also helped transform the culture, because there were things there at one point, everybody was doing it too much for him. We had Braille on the bathroom doors and all that stuff, which should have been things there anyway. But we got things done, and even the microwave, putting Braille in the break room for that. And he said, I don't want everybody making my coffee. I can make my own coffee. Just make it accessible and where I can do it myself. And that there was, life-changing for me in terms of really seeing it in action, how giving people a chance, looking beyond what we call the disability and seeing what their abilities are, and utilize them. So that's my story. I have many, many more, but I'll stop because I know we're short on time. And I want to say to you, never give up. You will face challenges. There will be barriers, but there are companies such as, we got Wells Fargo supporting this initiative now. We have Lowe's, who has an innovation tech hub in Charlotte. There are many companies that we're encountering, and I want to remind you that companies are asking us, this part I love about my job is they're asking us, what kind of DEI services, what programs do you have? Not all companies, those companies that are not, I'm working with our business relations manager and helping to, again, promote and share best practices and support them in their journey. And most important, you got to remember, you got to meet people where they are. You got to have space for grace. You got to give grace. Some people aren't quite where you are and not ready, but we have to change hearts and minds. And part of that is not giving up when something doesn't quite go the way that you think it should go. So we all want to be included. I love this little photo. We all want to see smiles when we're at work when we can. We all have a bad day. It's okay to have a day to not be okay. But in general, we want our people to want to come to work every day, to enjoy being a part of this DEI journey, and just one day hoping we won't even have to say we're talking about diversity, equity, inclusion as a program or initiative, but a way of just how we live, whether it's on our jobs or in our communities. And so join me in celebrating Black History Month. This is one of our examples of how commerce continues to embrace diversity. We've had a phenomenal month, and we celebrated American Indian Heritage Month. We celebrated Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month. We have had some great cultural celebrations where employees plan the events throughout the month. And I feel very just humble and excited to be given this opportunity to serve with an organization like Commerce and with the state, and to serve my state and the people of this state, and to serve you today. So I want to again thank you for this opportunity to share more about what we're doing at North Carolina Department of Commerce.
Outstanding. Well, Betty, thank you so much. I know I've seen a couple of questions come up. Can you tell us, and for the audience here, but certainly for the students, if they are interested in learning more about the opportunities to work for NC Commerce or the internships that you talked about, where can they go to find information on opportunities?
First, in terms of opportunities for the state internship program, is administered through the Department of Administration. Unfortunately for the summer internships, they've already done applications and usually Commerce gets interns, but with the Linkit, they can go to the Linkit. I can put the link in the chat for that program. They connect us with the employees that I'm looking. I would love to have one for my department if you fit that description. Like I said, we just hired our first one in the information technology analytics section. And if you would like to be considered for others with the Division of Workforce Solutions, they have, which is under NC Commerce, they also have an internship program. So you could reach out to via our website, all of the contact, if you link to those, and even a link to me. And if there's any area that you're not able to find something, you can always reach out to the DEI team. We'll connect you. Our Human Resources Department at Commerce can also help in connecting you to some of these opportunities. And for jobs, we have vacancies. Depending on where your skill set and area as you graduated, if you're close to that, and spread the word to others, to your peers. You know, NC.gov, you can find all of the jobs and not just commerce, but you can do a search specific for commerce and in the NC.gov jobs. And we're doing more, finally, recruitment fairs, job fairs. I think one's coming up at NCCU. I wanted to go to, but I said, okay, I'll give someone else the slot. Where our HR team and two of my colleagues are going to go to that one. We've done Shaw University, we've done on Olive College, a bunch. So we're doing more job fairs. And if you're aware of any coming up, you can always contact us and let us know, and we'll come as well. And you get to meet firsthand. We actually participated in a reverse job fair, which I thought was amazing, where you know, we had businesses there and they came and went by and met each of the participants there. So they were seeking jobs. So there are quite a few different opportunities. Watch our website and reach out to us. And I think I see that someone wanted to know if we provided assistance, like with businesses, on best practices and developing their program yet. We don't have the resources to fully execute the, you know, developing a program for you, but we can give you best practices, guide you, assist you, walk you through what you need to do in order. We are actually, in hopefully a couple of weeks, it's now in the review stage, we have developed a checklist for businesses that we've been working on quite a while, that will be sort of self-assessment, not something for us to, you know, check off and score you, but you assess yourself and your business to see how you're doing in terms of DEI and best practice. So that will be available very soon.
Great. And Betty, one of the things that I appreciate you mentioning today as well is, and we even have some young some students that are interested in entrepreneurship, right? And the innovative ideas that are generated from that. And so your chat about the historically underutilized business and hub certification is something that we really need to talk more about. I know we even have some small businesses represented among our mentors that are on today's call. And we have a certification program for disability-owned business enterprises and service disabled veteran-owned business enterprises. And so, you know, again, working to get that recognized in the state of North Carolina and gaining reciprocity with some of these other certifications would be the conversation we can have after this one. So
absolutely. I keep getting Hub involved. We held for Black History Month a business resource panel, and we included funding sources for entrepreneurs and small businesses, startups. There are a lot of great programs that the chambers are doing, especially Wake County has Pathway to Entrepreneurship that map out how to get you there, or whether you want to expand or just starting, you know, getting your business plan, et cetera. And Hub also has great resources, and it's all free, guys. That's the thing. So yeah, I think it would be great if you had a panel or a session focused on that, Beth. I think it would be, went over very well with our commerce staff. We did it because we wanted them to be informed about what's available, because some of them are also entrepreneurs or strive to be.
Fantastic. Well, Betty, thank you so much. In the interest of time, again, I want to thank you for your comments, and we look forward to continuing the conversation and the partnership. Can I ask you to go ahead and stop sharing your screen? So I can pull up one final thing as we wrap up. No, thank you. Thank you so much. I did want to just let those of you know, we have been busy this week. Many of you all have received emails representing your match. So we're matching mentees with their mentors. So we're in the process of doing that. Very, very excited about that. I do want to show you, and you'll all get this information as well, but we have developed a guide, if you will, that can help you as you begin your conversations with your mentees. So we have a mentor guide as well as a mentee. I don't know if you can see the screen, but it just lays out some topics, some ideas, and gives us an opportunity to capture some of the information that you'll be learning about each other from a mentor-mentee perspective as you move into the conversation. So again, this is an outline, but it's got some questions that we'd ask for you to complete as a mentor. And then down here, again, we have the mentee program guide as well. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. This information will be made available to you as you are matched with your mentees. Super excited about being in this at this point in this program. Because again, these students, this is an important conversation. This is an important relationship for these students to have prior to graduation, right? As they move into, and even graduate school. Leanne's a great example of that. And I know Janila Johnson from Bennett College, I think Janila, you're with us now. And I know you had to join late, but if you wanted to quickly introduce yourself as well, she's another career advocate that's serving to help make the connections on the Bennett College campus. But she just is in the process. She's a senior and will be graduating, but is transitioning into graduate school potentially. And so again, wants to gain that mentor experience as a way to expand networks, right? That's what this is about. For those businesses that are represented on today's call, you know the importance of networking. So we are excited to bring this talent to you in a way that you can grow these partnerships, grow these relationships, and we just look forward to really rich conversations and connections being made. If you are on today's call and you have additional questions or you're interested in learning more about this program, please reach out to me at beth@di-nc.org. You could go to our website at www.di-nc.org or reach out to one of the students. I know you guys have been connecting in the chat as well. We will get you connected and get you involved. Our next group mentoring session will happen on March 8th, 3 p.m., the same time. You will use the same Zoom link that you used for today's call as well. And with us will be Maya Warren, and you will be receiving some information on Maya very soon. But she is a philanthropreneur, if you can say that 3 times fast. A remarkable young lady. So come back. Share this information far and wide, and let's give some support to these college students and connect the talents of these individuals with your organizations. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your afternoon.